Today we have another fragrance from the house of Banana Republic, and we are dang near closing out our reviews on Banana Republic. We've almost hit the complete set, so let's get to that finish line. Strap up, get your bev, get your snacks. We're going for that ride. All right. Welcome to the Scent Bubble. I'm your host for the evening. Today from the house of Banana Republic, we have Collezione Riservata, some kind of collection. Tuberose Overdose, extrait, I believe. Will it tell me? I know it's a heavy smelling fragrance. It might be an extrait. Either way, it's very projective, powerful, so treat it as such. Okay. Tuberose Overdose, as the name suggests. A lot of tuberose. What do I want to say before I review this fragrance? Is there anything we could say about tuberose? Tuberose is a white flower, and the odor profile is an intense white floral, carnal, sweet, and indolic fragrance note with green nuances. What is indolic? It refers to compounds or substances containing indole ring structure, which is blah, 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 blah. It's a building block in chemistry. Okay. Anyways, all right. Enough of that. Tuberose Overdose. Again, this is similar to Dark Cherry and Amber in that it smells like something straight out of Bath and Body Works. Body mist, thick, pungent, projective. Same level of performance projection, sillage as Dark Cherry and Amber. It's not the loudest, but it's certainly projective. The sillage 3 feet, projection like 4 or 5 feet. Fairly decent photoreal, fruity, fruity floral, very slight woodsy fragrance. But again, it does have some slight synthetics in the fact that it's not super photoreal. You could tell they use synthetics quite a bit in here, which a lot of fragrances do, but these are very apparent. But it is a good smell. Now, this is a unisex fragrance apparently, but similar to Dark Cherry and Amber for me, it is extremely feminine leaning. It feels like a body mist. It doesn't feel as cologne-y as Metal Rain, Grasslands, Black Platinum, the vetiver one, linen vetiver, cypress cedar, all that stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of tuberose, floral, fruity. You just kind of have to put your nose to it to know what it smells like. In terms of the fruitiness, it feels in the realm of like the cross between like a green melon, like a cantaloupe and like a really sweet pink floral. You know, it's got like a rosy cantaloupe kind of smell to it. It's not exactly cantaloupe. I'm just, for those of you who haven't had tuberose, I'm trying to get your nose in the arena of what this smells like. But yeah, it's kind of got this fruity floral pungentness in the same style of presentation as Dark Cherry and Amber. Let's go ahead and switch screens here so you guys can see the pyramid. I'm sure in this case, it will bring more light to this fragrance. Okay, so black currant, green apple, and ginger up top. These are just notes that accentuate the loudness of this fragrance. I do not distinctly get ginger, black currant, or green apple. Maybe the slightest caveat to green apple, but it is certainly a background to these heart notes. This is what you get a lot of. Tuberose, peony, jasmine, tiare, flower, and frangipani. What is that? White flowers with a citrus nuance. This doesn't feel the most citrus. Like, honestly, in the most baby language as possible way to explain this, this feels like white and pink florals ramped up by a little bit of apple and vanilla. But the way it translates is like straight florals. In the base, we have ambrosinide, I think, praline. You don't get any of that. Vanilla just contributes to the sweetness, but I don't get a distinct vanilla. Sandalwood, maybe a bit, and precious woods. Who the heck knows what that is? This doesn't smell woody to me at all. Okay. Again, you can get this for about the $15 to $20 price point for a 50 ml. I don't like this fragrance for men. For women, 20 and down. As a layering fragrance, similar to dark cherry and amber, I find a little bit of success mixing very contrastive styles with this fragrance, such as incense, smoke, tobacco, dark notes, things like that. Dark, earthy richness, even woods to balance it out. Those I have a lot of success with. And in my Combo 101 book, I do have a Tuberose Overdose combo. So if you're interested in having a very linear, pungent floral fragrance as a comboing option with other fragrances, you can definitely check it out, men. However, as a standalone fragrance, even though it's a great performer, I just don't think it's a masculine fragrance at all. I'm not intimidated by florals in the least. Some of my favorite fragrances are floral forward. However, there is so much sweetness and a good amount of synthetics with this fragrance that, again, it feels like 90% of the fragrances or body mists that you would find in Bath and Body Works. It's not a bad thing. For women, it's great. For men, it loses its cojones. It feels too playful, too sweet. You know, those are just not really attributes that men like. I think even men who like Jean Paul Gaultier type fragrances or Paco Rabanne or the 1 Millions and stuff like that, this is even overkill for that because it's just as sweet as those fragrances, but coming from entirely florals, not necessarily vanilla. So with that being said, I give this fragrance a 6 or 7 out of 10. If you, for women, I think it could be like a 7 at best. For men, 6 and down, not even really worth rating it. Any season, any reason, it is fresh somewhat. In the most synthetic, sweet way possible. It's fresh for that side of the fence. I think it would shine in colder weather. Occasions, extremely casual, playful. Similar to dark cherry and amber, to be honest with you. And sprays, I think 4 to 6 sprays is going to get you about 6 to 8 hours of performance. I figure with a fragrance like this, you get an hour of performance per spray. So take that with a grain of salt and take into account the 1-to-1 or 2-to-1-ness on how you might scale this down if you're trying to introduce it as a comboing fragrance with other fragrances. Yeah, this was Banana Republic's Colazione Riservata Tuberose Overdose. And, you know, it's average or below average, not really a masculine fragrance. Women, if you're under 20, you'll love it. The older you get, the more cheaper it feels. But I do know a lot of older women who like Bath and Body Works stuff. But I feel like as a woman, you kind of grow out of that and you want to start to experience realer notes. You want to leave synthetics and go into more natural florals or just more expensive smelling, sweet type of fragrances. Especially when it comes to fruits and vanillics and gourmand and stuff like that. You just want more of an expensive smelling experience. So again, if you're younger, it's real enough. But after 20, I just feel like it starts to become diminishing returns the older you get. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that review. If you have any questions, let me know down below. I'm not going to throw the logo up because, quite frankly, I think I already had it pop up twice. I don't want to bore you guys with that. But definitely make sure you tune in. We drop episodes every single day. And I think we only have like 1 Banana Republic or 2 left to review. And then we've covered the whole set. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Stay blessed. And until next time, peace.